Alrighty,
Hello.
everybody. Hello. Hey, how are you? Welcome.
Honey
in.
did this yesterday.
Yes.
The second we click record, he goes and leaves. It's like he
He's
sits
out.
there the entire time we're preparing and then gone.
The moment time to start, he will join us.
Oh, we're starting? All right,
shortly.
I'll see you guys.
All right.
I just came for the pre-show.
Oh gosh. Well, welcome everybody. We got a few of you guys coming in here. A couple likes. Get that like number up. Get the views up. I know we canceled. Well, we canceled. We've the last not three or four, but the last.
Wow, you guys canceled when I was at deer camp.
The last week was canceled. I think even 2 weeks after that. So we haven't been on our consistent game. So we apologize. But all three of us are here. We're ready to rumble, even in the slower market, which we can totally talk about, as boring as that possibly is. But it's also important. But we're here. Wine Wednesday. So welcome in, everybody. Some of you were there. Good Morning NASDAQ. You saw us do absolutely nothing but answer questions, which you will probably watch us do the same thing here. That's all right. Q&A is good. But yeah, us three are here. I don't even know if we. Also, another thing I've noticed, and it's all of our faults. It's not really. Well, it depends on if it's even a bad thing. We really haven't been. We've been Wine Wednesdaying without wine. Really, we've kind of turned into. I feel like we haven't said anything, but all three of us have equally just gone on like to the more less wine kick, and
We're getting older, Kyle.
yeah, we're just like, we've had a glass of wine every Wednesday for the last like 2 years. We're like, let's just take it easy. Like I've got water. I don't have any wine. Although I have plenty bottles of wine that I should drink, but
I saw the other day at a gas station at deer camp, the Witch's Brew wine. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I miss Kyle.
I still have some. I still have some of those stocked away. So, but what do you? I mean, Huddie, where are you drinking wine? I feel like Huddie is stuck with some kind of alcoholic beverage longer than me and Dom have, but I could be wrong.
All right. Don't throw me under the bus.
Oh, he's got something. What is
All
that?
white beer. Or
It looks like a seltzer.
It's a seltzer.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Two of them in one cup.
No, just a very large cup
Really?
for one full seltzer.
Yeah.
But I do
Really?
have two seltzers.
Yeah, there you go.
What brand we got?
We got High Noon Passion Fruit Tequila Seltzer.
Nice. I knew aren't bad.
After drinking wine every Wednesday for a year and a half, I just don't want wine anymore.
That's what we were
I
saying.
love wine.
That's what we were saying. We're like, we didn't ever publicly or even privately say it, but I think over time we just naturally started drinking anything but wine. They'll be back.
We need to do a meetup where we don't do any content, but we just go to a steakhouse.
We're just party.
Just us three, yeah.
Bond.
Can you get that scheduled?
That's an idea.
Huddy?
Yeah, I can fit that in somewhere.
All right.
Because that sounds like I just want some I want some macaroni and cheese for Kyle, some nice steak, like a nice
I think,
ribeye.
I think we'd have to go to Arizona.
That's the spot.
I'm
I haven't
convinced.
been in
I'm
a while.
convinced
To Mastros.
I'm convinced the best steakhouses are in Arizona.
I know what
like,
Maple and Ash,
nationwide.
Dominic's, Mastros.
So you remember all of them? Like
Yeah.
that's really says something.
remember
Because I
Mastros.
love those steakhouses.
Oh, I remember Mastros because
so
Dom
good.
left the server an insanely high tip.
Yeah, it was dumb.
That was Dominic's.
That was Dominic's. That
Dominic.
was when we had like $75 per shrimp, per tiger shrimp
Yeah,
appetizer.
with like 12 people. Yeah.
Oh, that
That's
was
what-
some good meals.
That's when we were making $20,000 a day.
That was-
That was good.
Everything
That was late 20. That was what, early 2022. So like we were still on
That
the
was
2021 high.
sometime 2022, I
I
think.
think it was like March. So we were still like on the high of 2021. Reality hadn't set in yet of how crappy
We were
that year
eating
was
good.
going to be. Yeah.
Oh, that
Everything
was
just felt so
tasty.
cheap.
Yeah. Right.
You just
50
compare
bucks?
everything to your commissions that day. If it was less than that, it's a goodbye.
Like, well, I spent this today already, so here we go.
Oh, I'm getting real hungry. Let's go get steak.
But yeah, so welcome everybody. Feel free to put your questions in the chat.
We're procrastinating because there's no stocks.
Yeah, like and subscribe. But yeah, if you weren't in Good Morning NASDAQ, that we started it out with like we really don't have a watch list. We mentioned a couple tickers, we watched a couple things. I did end up stopping out, and I do have a P&L today because some of the swings I had were stopped out or sold after the stream. But during the stream, it was like we were doing nothing. We were just watching, talking, because there really wasn't much going on. I mentioned I've taken 3 small cap or just non-swing trades. And for being middle of November, that is insane. if I wasn't swing trading, that would be like the least trades I've ever taken to start a month, like ever in like years, to be taking 3 trades in 2 weeks. So that's just how desolate it is for at least me. And I'm sure there are plenty of traders still trading things every day, but like that's just how not many opportunities are out there, given how I do trade quite a range of things, but not everything. But so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's what the market's been doing. But there was a squeeze today because Trader Bill does ask, did anyone trade LPTX today? I looked at it. I was watching it. It ran huge. Hopefully, but the problem is it's just another crypto treasury play. So it doesn't really excite me. That was never exciting for me. I thought it was funny though because it was a crypto treasury play for ZEC, Zcash. That's already gone on 1,000% run. Have you seen? I think Huddie's seen. Have you heard of this, Dom? Have you seen this?
The stock?
This not the stock, but the crypto ZEC.
No, that doesn't, dude. Those don't come across my desk.
Right. So
look at ZCSH.
Or
Could've
that
had a first screen day on that.
Yeah, ZCSH.
Stocks or cryptos?
So ZEC is the crypto. You can see that on TradingView. But ZCSH.
Grayscale?
ZCSH is the Grayscale Trust of ZEC. So that's the stock you could trade.
That was a pretty nice breakout in the 30s.
Yeah, it didn't run as much, obviously, but it followed it enough.
Pretty light volume, eh?
Yeah. ZEC, I could bring it up for those watching on stream. ZEC here
Gotta keep track of all these cryptos.
ran from $50 to 400 or 750. So what, a 1,500%, 1,400%? Yeah, and so we're up here in the 500, still a 10x off the lows, and that's when freaking LPTX was like, yeah, we're going to do a treasury for this company. It's like, or this crypto. We're like, really, guys? Really? You're a little late to the party. But anyways.
So wait, LPTX still didn't run till today, though. They had news
that's what I'm saying.
12,
They announced,
that was 12 hours ago.
They announced the news today with ZEC at 500. It's just like, oh my God.
I swear, every time I see that news when it happens, it's the biggest dud of the day. And when I don't see that news, because it was only gapping up 40 or 50%, they go 500%.
Yeah, they just go nuts.
It's always, but I can't complain. I saw it early in the day, and I marked out that 98-cent level or whatever. And I was like, that's a breakout, but it's a pretty undisciplined breakout when it's coming from 40 cents. But you buy it blindly, it would have worked.
That it would. I think also
that's really the only pattern I see on it. If it was a little stretched, though, I think.
Yeah, it also I would guess it went further than it normally would have today because there hasn't been much to short.
Oh yeah,
and so naturally, anyone who's itching for some drugs.
Well, it also looked a lot like BNAI, which was like 2 days ago, that has the same type of thing where it's running far into a resistance level. Wasn't there another one yesterday, Huddie, that had a similar daily chart with like resistance just overhead? Did you short one?
MSRP.
MSRP?
No, I haven't.
MRSP?
MSPR?
MSPR? We're going to get it. Yeah, similar charts, I think, recently where we've had resistance overhead. And this one just kind of took the bulls by the horn. Because that's the first thing I thought when I saw this one this morning. I'm like, if I was a behavioral type of trader, I'd want to short this. And maybe other people thought that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we got. So I think some shorts got squeezed today for sure.
Hopefully they get squeezed again tomorrow and we have stuff to watch.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Knives asks, hey Kyle, I've been struggling with swing trading lately. How have you been? Oh, Knives. Buddy, you're not alone. I am definitely on a drawdown. I got a 20-something% win rate to start the month. I'm red almost every day. And have given a nice portion of October back thus far. So if I could do it over again, I wouldn't take as many swings, obviously. The problem is that like charts still look good in certain examples.
You're like me with reversals. You just can't stop even though you want to.
It's really freaking tough because it's like there are plenty of guidelines to not take them. Like you can look at the QQQs and be like, okay, this moving average sloping down, but this one isn't, or it's above these or below these, but it still bounces back. So it's like if I was really disciplined or really strict, yeah, there's a world I just don't take anything. The problem is, amongst this choppy period, there are setups that are still looking really good. And it's the ones that either don't look good that I need to cut out, but the problem is even the ones that do look good are still not working. Or even the ones that do work, then they stop working. Like Lumen, I stopped out today. That went from 7 to like 12 practically. But the problem is I didn't stop. It pulled back harshly today and yesterday. So I stopped out in the 8s. So it's like I gave back 60% of my win trailing, which sucks. But in a true winner, that would have paid out massively if it went to like 15 and then I could stop out at like 11, right? With the moving averages following up or whatever it may be. But like, so I've yet to figure out how much I want to cut off. The only time I know no trades are available is like if the 10 is below the 20 and we're both sloping down, like that's a no-brainer. Like we are clearly in the downtrend, don't take any swings. But when we're in this choppy period, it's like like some might work, but some might not. And if the market does stop being choppy and actually starts trending really well, the ones you're in are going to be really good winners because you got them kind of like prematurely before the nice, overall market trend. So I don't know. I'm still working out those kinks, but for now, yeah, it's been rough out here. It's a rough November, for sure. I would really hate to give back more than I already have, but we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the month offers. Fernando says Dom is the star of the show, the best host. I would agree. Dom is the best host. Dom's the what do you call it? The pilot. Good morning, NASDAQ.
I guess so. I guess Huddie's kind of a co-pilot.
Yeah.
If the co-pilot, doesn't know anything of what's going on about the plane, and
He doesn't need to.
Huddie's the pilot that's taking the plane to his plane to fly. Like he's sitting in the back somewhere, and he's got to like take off in New York, and we're in LA. So he's just kind of, what do they call it? Deadheading it? Is that what they call it? Deadhead? I'm almost positive.
Is it?
It's like they ride for free on a plane that takes them to their next destination to drop to where they're going to pilot from.
Very nice. Okay. Everyone's saying hi. Nice. Slices Water Wednesday. Yep, that's for me. That's me this year or this week. Caleb says pump for the live webinar tomorrow. Yes, for those who don't know, we got a live webinar tomorrow. Just talking about the PDT lowering from 25K to 2K. Go over some charts, some trades. The huge. Dawson's in the chat. What's up, Dawson? Yeah, we love Dawson. Dawson's the bro. Dawson, are you going to trade us for a cause in February? Late February? March?
I'd put $5,000 on that. The fact that he is.
He is. I don't know. It's a far.
It's
a far trip.
If I was a betting man, I'd bet yes.
Vegas would be easier for Dawson and I, but you have to go Miami. Now it's a little bit of a trip. I've learned so much from you guys. I'm up 100K in the year, but this month sucks. Since 10/10, I've been sideways for me. How do you guys mentally handle the slow markets? Well, first, congrats. It's a great start of the year, or great, not start, but great year, and it's not even over. So that's fantastic. Congratulations. But been sideways since 10/10, so you're over a month of sideways. How do you guys handle the slow markets? How would we handle them? I feel like we all handle them differently, but how do we handle money?
It really depends why you're sideways. It's hard to answer without knowing exactly what the problem is that's ailing you. But like I think what I do is like I try to identify what the problem is. Like most weeks I am green. It's very rare for my P&L to go a whole month of like consistently red. Not like 70% of my days are red, 100% of my weeks are red. Like if that's the case, there's something wrong with what you're doing, and you got to find consistency. You're doing something wrong. So that's for me what I'd have to identify. If it's just of okay, like gappers all stopped me out, there were no breakouts, and like it's just like a setup situation, then it's just okay. Like I've traded setups long enough to know that like this is a dry spell and it'll come back around. But like for instance, like I'm red. I was red last week. I lost on 4 days, one-on-one, and I'm green on Monday, and I basically didn't trade today or yesterday. So, like, I'm not necessarily sideways for the best month. Is kind of my point. So you have to kind of identify how long the period has been, and like what is the problem? Is it the setup, or is it the lack of setup and you're over trading? Like what is going on? Like that's what you have to figure out.
Yeah, I think it's important information to know. If it's just like slower markets, like I think for like half of every month for the last 3 months, we've had slower markets. But with what Huddy was saying, the way to navigate that and stay green versus break even, I think for me is always like taking less trades. I don't really mess with size too much, like maneuvering it. But if you need to size down because you can't stop yourself from doing some mistake, I think that's something that can be beneficial. But for me, it's always take less setups. How do you just said I haven't traded the last 2 days? I don't think I have a trade today at least. Yesterday we had what MTC that one of them. And I didn't trade at all last week. I was gone, but it sounded like that was the better move. It's always about doing less. When it comes, functionally, I think studying is really important. Make more spreadsheets. Go through your data. Go through the best patterns of the past 6 months, year. Study the little cycles that happened. When you should have been pushing. When you should have been swinging more things. When you should have been increasing size. Whatever it is, like that's from the perspective of getting better. But when it comes to just managing your time, you got to realize that when you look at your year in a snapshot, there's going to be a lot of downtime, a lot of periods where there wasn't anything working, a lot of periods where it was just ended up being chop, where, let's say Kyle goes on the next 2 weeks of the month or 3 weeks, whatever it is, finds a way to break even. Like this will be looked at like as kind of a frustrating, choppy, annoying month, but there's probably something to be learned from it. And it could have been much worse. So sometimes you just got to handle the chop. It's hard to be consistently perfect 12 weeks or 12 months in a row. So I wouldn't be too hard on myself. Do what Huddy said, try to evaluate the situation and trade less.
Well said. I don't think I can add any more. Then he also adds, FYI, I'm always comparing myself to you guys since I feel like if I can get to your guys' level, then I've made it. Thank you. Flattering, thanks. But also, I would if we're tying that in, my brain immediately goes tying that comment into the first comment, which is like, you're going sideways. How do we mentally handle this? But then if you quote unquote made it to our level, then you feel like you've made it. But I would share the other side of that fence, so to speak, or the other side of that grass, right? The grass is always greener. That like, I don't know. I don't think you ever feel like you made it, so to speak. Like, of course, at some point, you gain confidence in your strategy, of course. So like, yeah, we all go through drawdowns, but I think every single one of us here, myself, Dom, and Huddy, trust that drawdowns happen, and when they happen, we know how to handle it. But it doesn't stop the feeling that sucks with a drawdown. Like, again, I'm in a drawdown, like we just mentioned. I want nothing more than to stop trading, throw all my money in a very safe asset, just pull out 4% a year, live off that for 30 years, and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like there definitely is that urge of like, this isn't fun at this moment in time. For
Why
sure.
am I doing this?
Yeah, it's like, ugh.
Do I even know what I'm doing anymore?
So there's, as much as I know what you mean, there's maybe a sense of confidence over time, for sure. But when you hit a drawdown, I don't care if you got 10 million or 100 million, the emotional part of your brain is going to be like, what have I really made it? So keep that in mind. You're never gonna your brain will play games with you. You're never always gonna feel like you've made it, and you're always gonna make it. Because the truth is, you're not. Like, not to go on a tangent now, but like, I don't care if I made 10 million or 100 million. Like, you screw up bad enough, you get lazy enough, you stop learning new edges or adapting. Like, you could be done. And who made it then?
Played a little bit too much online slots.
Yeah, put it all on black on an online poker game, and then you're done. Like, I don't know, but extreme cases.
Mixing games there.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. But Sly says he's been studying a lot, putting in a lot of hours, taking trading very seriously. Bare minimum 10 hours a day. Wow, while in college, and I've been seeing a lot of everyone's come up. But what did it look like? Wait, what? Barely 10 hours a day while in college. A bit of everyone's come up, but what did it look? I'm not sure I understand the question.
The come up, like your first year when you were grinding and
Yeah.
not making money.
I mean,
What did it look like, Kyle?
It was.
Give me a day. Give me a day today.
I was in college, so I would move all of my college courses to the afternoon after market closed. So for me, it was 1 p.m. or after. Occasionally, there needed to be one class at like midday if I just couldn't fit all my classes later. So it would revolve around me trading the open. Probably done trading after the first hour because I was on PDT or I didn't take a trade, whatever it was. It was never really, and I didn't have much patience. So even if I, it was very rare I was holding a trade all day anyway. Then I would probably study for an hour or two, and that's like not trading charts, but like a video lesson, a webinar, etc. Maybe a book. Then I would listen to podcasts on my drive to college. So if when I was driving, I'd listen to something. If I don't have to look, I could just listen to it. Then I'd get to school, do school for 4 to 6 hours, how many classes I had, then prepare for tomorrow the next day, and then do it all over again. So, I mean, let's call it...
You were going to classes?
Yes.
Oh.
Why? What do you mean?
You went in person, showed up to them?
Somewhere online.
Not just the tests?
No, I actually had to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I had to show up. But
San Diego State?
Yep. I mean, I didn't have to show. I could have skipped, but I would have. I would have failed. I'm one of those kids. Like I have to be there. If I don't show up, I'm just not going to retain any information.
What a nerd.
Yeah. So I would go.
Sometimes nerd.
Sometimes classes are online, but most were in person. But in total, I mean, yeah, on average, I probably put in 6 to 8 hours a day, not including school. But again, that would be in total, like from waking up to trading the open, to prepping for tomorrow, to the video lessons, to the webinars, like that was like the general idea. But one thing I will add to here is that I wouldn't get so caught up in how many hours you put in. And what I mean by that is like everyone doesn't do this. So I'm not saying this as a general statement, but I just want to warn people of this because I have seen too many people do this, which is like they think that because they've studied 15 hours a day, that they now deserve some kind of, recognition or profitability or, just look how hard I work. Like I work so much harder than everyone else. Look at me. There's definitely that aspect to it. And I'm not saying you're doing that, Sly, or anyone in general, but I've seen enough of people who have done it to know what it looks like. And it doesn't, the market doesn't care. So what I did was if I was studying and I ever got tired or I got exhausted or I found myself not paying attention, I would just stop. Screw the title of saying I studied for 8 hours a day. If I'm in hour 3 and I'm exhausted and I can't hear one more word of another podcast or I can't keep my eyes open for a minute of a video lesson, I would just stop. Right. So for me, it's not always how many hours you're getting. It's how many quality hours, how much you're actually learning when you're doing it. I think is way more important. Right. Because if you're just counting your hours, then you're also just trying to count a paycheck. You know what I mean? The market doesn't care how many hours you put in. It cares how quickly and how efficiently are you getting and retaining that knowledge. So that's the only caveat to that, which is of course, study as much as you possibly can. Naturally, there's going to be a linear correlation between the most hours put in and possibly chance of success. But if you're just studying to study and never actually retaining any of the 10 hours you just put in on every single day, well, you're not going to get anywhere. Right. So you need both. You need to make sure you're actually retaining and having quality hours versus just, I study 24 hours a day and I don't sleep, but guess what? I died because I didn't sleep for 5 days straight. You know what I mean? How far are you really going to go with that kind of sentiment?
I almost hope you're not studying 10 hours a day. That's too much.
Yeah. It could be a lot.
I don't know what you mean by 10 hours a day. That's other things to do in a day. To your point, Kyle, it's the classic comment of if you cram for a test the night before, you might ace the test, but your short-term memory is gonna that's the only thing that's gonna affect that moment, and long-term you're gonna forget everything. So it's not really about like you're saying, it's not about studying just to study. It's about studying efficiently. That's way more important. I think. I mean, I was a finance and economics major, and I was listening to podcasts, and I was studying, every day, and I was watching the market every day, and all of that. Like I consider the first 2 hours of market open study. You don't have to be necessarily trading. You can just be watching, reading chats, like understanding comments. Sometimes I'd have a webinar up. Um, that's part of like you're learning the market. You're just digesting information. You don't necessarily be pushing buttons just to watch, but you definitely should watch it. What was my day like? I was on the West Coast too, so I wake up. I trade from 6 to 7:30 a.m. My first classes would usually like I couldn't choose that much freedom. I had classes that started at 8. Sometimes I had no choice, like 8:12, and then like 1 to 4 was kind of how I like periodically scheduled it. And if I wasn't in class, if I wasn't training in the morning, if I wasn't at lacrosse practice, if I wasn't at the gym, if I wasn't hanging out with friends, then I'd go home. I'd put on some Fortnite. I'd put on a web my left. I'd just hear Gritani's voice in the background. I'd sometimes I'd light a joint and I'd watch a webinar. If Sykes was giving a webinar or Mark Crook was giving a webinar, I'd just watch. I just have it on, and I just like I got almost every day I have some type of webinar or an old webinar on, and I would just have it either playing with me listening intently or not. And one of the bigger things that like progressed me was I started to categorize all the webinars, and so, like if I had a first red day set up, right, like tomorrow, right, and like it was obvious, like the daily chart was like this is ready for first red day or breakout, whatever it was. It was on my list. I would go that night, watch like Gritani trade this setup on webinar in live, like watch him do it, listen to all the words he says, so that the next day I was very prepared to trade that setup. And like that's what I mean by like effective study. Like, all right, I've watched the market, I've identified a setup. Now I'm gonna watch the webinar of a guy who trades the setup very well, and then tomorrow I'm gonna try to do the exact same thing. Like that is what really like I think started progressing me very fast, very forward. It's not 10 hours straight of random. It's not gonna get you anywhere, unfortunately.
Thanks, you guys, for prefacing how I did it. I almost had my cord stuck in my legs cramping. Um, I was definitely the guy 12 to 15 hours a day. Maybe I'm an idiot and I had to do it that way. Maybe that's just my brain works. Um, but yeah, I didn't have a lot else going on. At this point, when I started trading, I was still in college, my senior year, when I just learned about it. And I was trying to do the school. Like Kyle's thing sounds noble. Mine was like, I did nothing all day. I did not go to class. I did not study. I tried to look at the markets, tried to do all that. It didn't work. I was paper trading like a G. I remember I nailed the tops break or whatever to move to 100. I made like 100 grand on that paper trading. Um,
This man couldn't lose.
I could not lose paper trading. Um, and yeah, I had some unfortunate health news. My stomach stuff started to get really bad, and so got I left school. I didn't go back, and so I was kind of like, this is my opportunity to grind, to focus on trading, because if I do get healthy, my parents are gonna be like, you need to go back. You need to get a job, because I did graduate from home. So I did have a little window where I had like a year where I could suck at trading and actually give it the time necessary to figure it out. But my day to day was pretty similar. I mean, I felt like crap all the time. I laid on the floor all day when I wasn't like, so I might as well study while I was doing that. So I would get up at like 7 a.m., study before the market open. I wasn't really taking trades because if I did, I was just adding to my drawdown of eventually like 6 to 10K that I lost. Um, but I did it all day long. I didn't do anything else. I had a girlfriend at the time, and that was it. I wasn't really hanging out with friends. I didn't have a whole lot of friends of doing things, so I would just grind. It was either Gritani DVD, Gritani webinars, other webinars, but I do think I was being productive about it. I would just watch the same stuff over and over and over again until it was drilled into my head. I would make watch lists. I would trade throughout the day or watch the market, have dinner. That was like my time. I lived at my parents' house, so I'd have dinner with them. My mom's cooking's the best. And then I'd go downstairs to my little cave and I would study from 6 to midnight. And I would just watch the same stuff over and over and over again until it bled into my mind. I mean, it wasn't always all trading. There was like random, like valuable podcasts that I would watch. Um, like, what is, I don't even know what you call it, not self-help. What do you call that genre?
I know what you mean, yeah.
Motivational life hacks, like that type of thing, business wise, entrepreneurs, like all the stuff we all probably still listen to. I would read, I would talk to people like Jack back then. Um, but that was day to day. My life was not fun either. Like I was in a horrible state. So it was kind of like as I got better at trading, it was just like canceling out the horribleness of my health stuff. But you also got to remember, I did all that stuff just to be just as average as I am now. So if you don't have what Huddy or Kyle or me are willing to put in, uh, that's the baseline just to become average.
Well, you make a good point, which is like, yeah, if you have time, like, we'll put it this way: if you love trading, like, you will probably put in 6, 8, 10. Like, you will find a way to do it. Like, I remember when I had
wouldn't
time,
have been able to do it if I didn't do that. I think.
Like when I had free time, it was spent trading, right? To where some days totally, like, absolutely, there would be very long days involved. I just say what I said earlier, of the sense, like, don't do it because you love it, not because you think it's going to get you there faster. You know what I mean? Like, do it because that's what you want to do, not because you think, oh, but if I put 11 hours in today instead of 9, then I'm going to be profitable in 1 month sooner if I extrapolate, you just don't fall in the trap of feeling like you're owed. You know what I mean? Do it because, like, this is the game you want to be in. Not that, like, everyone who studies 12 hours a day just all of a sudden is a millionaire. It's like, no. Like, there's more of a why than a how, if that makes sense. Flashnet says IBTA short bad on earnings, more downside tomorrow and more. No, I mean, we have no idea on reads on earnings, where that's not our style. Or we're going to react off of earnings. That's not our thing. Question, I guess, for Dom here. Any good first green days on watch tomorrow? I would assume no.
No, we don't have any runners.
Yeah.
We need like step 1. We can't. I guess whatever LPTX will technically count, whatever it does tomorrow, probably. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming it's going to get a gap down of 15 or 20%. So if it stays red, we had a miracle MTC. We had a miracle yesterday. So I'm thinking maybe we won't have another one work for a while. That one actually is low key holding up in the 240, 250 area. Yeah. But that bounced back. So technically one worked. If you're waiting for one to work to say I'm back in, we did have one work, but I don't see anything. You need runners. I need my watch list plentiful of movers. The only thing people are talking about is open AI.
Open AI, yeah.
That actually is like $1 from the breakout.
It's come back very quickly, and I'm upset.
And everyone keeps saying, I'm waiting, which means you should just buy it now.
It just keeps on freaking going. So Dawson is coming to Miami. Fantastic. We'll see you there. 7-hour flight. Yeah, it's about a 5-hour flight for me. Maybe 4.5 if it's fast. Booked first class ticket to
if
ease
you
the
get
pain.
the right tailwind.
Yeah, first class ticket. There you go. That'll do it. $5K for Huddie. Huddie wins that bet. Connor asks, Kyle, for swing trades, cool mocking style, have you, when they aren't playing out, do you think it's better to just keep doing them with very small size, or just stop waiting for them to play out better? I mean, again, I'm trying to follow the guidelines he gives with an overall NASDAQ as best I can. So no, I haven't necessarily taken a very strict approach on sizing down, or taken a super strict approach on not taking new trades. I kind of hope stocks don't set up. Like, there are some stocks that, like, if they break a certain price, that I'll have to, like, the chart, I have to trust it. So I kind of hope they don't break, so I don't have to, like, buy them. But some still do go, and I still have to buy them. And, what was it? EOSE worked for a couple days. Unfortunately, it kind of pulled back pretty harshly today. So that's kind of how I'm doing it, maybe, again, like I said, I'm still learning myself. So there's a world where I could get pickier in future market environments if I, maybe recognize a more choppier period than before, kind of thing. Sean asks, why don't you guys use a software to track all your metrics? Well, we do. At least I do. I still use Kinfo. I just also need my own journal, or need a journal, because I think that's where the good work comes from. Like, any automatic journaling, and this is no knock on automatic journaling, it can work for many people, and it does work for many people. I just know for me, it doesn't have me doing work. It allows me to be lazy, right? So I can upload everything to Kinvo, never look at a trade, never review a trade. It's all going to be there, and probably never look at my metrics. I'll be like, oh, am I green or am I red? Done. Okay, move on. Like I would never do the dirty work of digging and analyzing and recapping, right? If they're all just uploaded manually for myself. Whereas with Kinvo already manually uploaded, then I can cross-reference my own tracking, make sure they're actually accurate, which I do. I do that every week. But then in my own journaling, now I'm taking screenshots of trades. I'm writing mental notes. I'm saying this is what the setup was, right? Then I'm putting in my calendar of like, how is my week going, right? How was yesterday going? How many rules have I broken on those specific trades? Which trades really pissed me off because it got tilted? Like there's a bit more effort put in that keeps that snowball growing than just uploading to a software and all of a sudden I'm done, you know? Some people I find who, if they like softwares, they'll do a hybrid where everything gets uploaded and then they maybe do some note taking on the online website kind of thing. But again, I like a little bit more hands-on, you know, in terms of actually tracking. Because also put it this way, because I have all of my data by data points, I can find stats that maybe an online software couldn't. Now, not to knock any online software, there's tons of softwares online that can find you many, many different statistics. But if there's like one very specific thing that you want to find, the software's not going to do that for you. The software's going to give you its 50 or 60 or 100 things it looks for. But then you would have to ask the founder or email support of like, hey, can you find this for me? Where it's like, I've got all of my data. If I want to find exactly how many longs I've been profitable on in this exact time frame, boom, I've got it, right? It might take me 5 minutes of work, but I have that data. Whereas others, it might not be, or it might be more difficult to actually get a piece of. So that's my own reasoning. Sorry.
Hey, Kyle, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Any difference there,
Yeah,
Dom?
what you said there is very true. And it's not just because we sell your spreadsheet, which I think is so much better than using like TraderView or Kinfer or something. And that is because I did that all of like 2022 and 2023, where I stopped tracking. I started trading really, really bad. And I would just be like, well, it's on the website or whatever. And it was out of sight, out of mind. So I wasn't feeling the emotions of making stupid mistakes because I just got lazy. I would track personally when I was doing well, but when I wasn't doing well, I would just let it be. And so I wasn't actually learning the lessons or feeling it or seeing how much my behavior was detrimental. There's such a difference between doing it every night and being into your trading and like accepting what I did today, writing a report card, taking a screenshot. Like you don't have to do everything that's on Kyle's thing, but even the bare minimum of doing it every day, making sure you like, I got back from deer camp and like last night, I sat down, I'm like, I got to do my monthly review or else I'll fall behind on it. And I did it and it reminded me of the month and gets me set up for this month. You absolutely got to, I think, track by hand, or else it's just easy to like be like, I'm just going to be a complete turd for a week and then not look for 2 more weeks when I know I'm green again at my data. Like, I think it sets you up for bad habits.
Agreed. Anything to add there, Huddie, or no?
Not really.
No.
I think you guys said it all.
Hit all the points. Okay, question for Huddie actually next. How have you been in your stats with gap and craps for this month/year?
Guys, I don't check it every month. The strategy is profitable. It's one of my more profitable strategies, and well, the past 2 weeks, as far as I can remember back, it's been profitable. I think they had like a slow moment in October, like a hiccup, and it's been really good ever since. I think I had a phenomenal September. From what I was told, I didn't even trade September. So, you know, it's kind of like it's very rare that it's not doing like what it averagely does most of the time. And so it doesn't really change.
Alrighty.
Why is that funny?
It's
I
hilarious.
know why.
Because it's like trading for like a year is like you're on a boat. And like every month, like once you take off, like you don't get towards the finish line, like you're just in the water. And I feel like that's how like the trading setups are. Like sometimes there's like big differences, like with like reversals right now, but like there's like a big barrier reef that you're running into. But like most of the time, and people want you to be like, "How's the trip?" And you're like, "It's the same. Like there's nothing out here. I'm just floating away on the water." And we've been trading the same patterns for so long. Like there isn't a whole lot of extra thinking going on. It's just like I'm doing the setup still, trading the way it says to.
It's almost like maybe they're asking from a space of just checking what your experience is the same as their experience. But I feel like
Yeah, that's what I think
it's
it
the
is.
answer of what you would say, Dom, when anyone asks like, what happens when interest rates go lower, or will we get a Santa rally? It's like it's all just guessing. It's so if your stats are one way or another for a strategy, does that how does that change for you? Like when do you cut it off entirely? And for Huddie's back tested it for years, where it's going to take a lot for him to really notice and stop, going afloat, to fit Dom's analogy. Like he's just going to his ship's going to keep on sailing.
Unless a big storm hits.
Right. But
It
until
doesn't
storm hits, which
stop
nothing
storming.
has. Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it's like again, it goes back to that consistency thing. If there's 6 weeks of fully red gap and craps like that would be hard. That's never happened. 6 weeks in a row.
Did you say 60?
Six.
Oh, 6.
Like 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
You'd probably trade like 40 of them at that point. Maybe.
Right.
Like that'd be kind of like the cadence of it. And like if they're all red, okay, maybe there's something to check there. Maybe they need to put a safety valve. I've never seen that in the 2 years that I've traded it. It does what it averagely does. It doesn't even swing that hard either way. There might be a moment that it's really bad, but that's why we risk a percentage of account that is like you don't run the risk of ruin if there is a big dip in the performance.
Yeah. Trader Bill says, do you guys trade setups like LFS yesterday? I don't think we do. LFS. Did it just run yesterday? No, I mean, that's just a one-day runner.
LaFleur's?
Yeah, I don't know if we find predictability in those, because there's a lot of stocks that run, and some fail out of nowhere, and some go up 100%. Like, there's not really enough. Me and Dom and Huddy are very structured traders. Like, we really need a handful of indicators to have taken place to feel confident or have a trusted odds of what's going to happen next. And for one-day runners like LFS here, okay, it runs from 2 to 5. Now what? Like, where's the I don't have enough structure to think this is going to go to 14, even though it did. Like, I don't have enough indicators or know-how or again, just structure to be like, yep, I know there's a 60% chance it's going to go to this price by this time. You know what I mean? When I have a setup, like, that's usually what happens, right? Generally speaking. These one-day runners, I have no clue. There's so much variance between some go up, some go down, some round trip, some squeeze 1,000%. It's all over the place. So no, there's no setup there for me. Yeah, as of yesterday. Even now, there's no setup. No.
I don't know why. I don't know what setups are. I don't know. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't know. You weren't here, Kyle. So good morning. It was like gun to my head. You had to trade this stock, whichever one it was, and we were both like, you have to make 5R on it, or else you die. And we were like,
shoot me now.
I was like, would you like scalp around? Would you like try to buy dip? Like try to modern rocket,
Yeah.
Or would you like commit to a bias and be like, I think this is gonna die today at some point, so I'm just gonna build into a short until I blow up or I make my 5R. Like, I honestly they're, in my opinion, these day ones are so random. Like that one's even more random because it wasn't even a gapper. It just kind of opened and started and has no daily chart history. I'm like, I don't even know where I would start. Like, because you would feel pretty confident when your P&L's at 0, but if it starts to get sideways on you and you got to get to 5R, I don't know what you do on these. Where's your basic? You have to know how to read price action, and I talk to my brain and it doesn't.
It's a one-sided conversation.
Yeah, it's like.
So, okay, appreciate the info, guys. So how would you guys say you keep ahead of the curve to make sure you guys sustain your guys' competitive edge, question mark? Does that just come in the form of reviewing trades?
For me, network.
Yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
I think one of the bigger shifts that I made in the past 3 years is like uncovering a strategy to trade the gapping crap. And the only reason I was able to uncover that was not just by myself. I needed help from others. So, like I think networking, right, within trading and going to things like this for like talking about boot camps like that we put on, like going to the and us or meeting other traders and creating trading pods and maybe meeting the systematic trader who deals with data and you're the guy that how stocks move and you combine your two thoughts and then you create a strategy together like that has helped keep me very competitive these past 2 years. And then what Kyle said.
There you go. Yeah,
talking to system bros is helpful.
Yeah, you did really good at that. But yeah, reviewing trades.
But like even since the inception of my career, like the only reason I'm profitable is because I went to a Tim Sykes event and there was Tim Grattani. And I looked at him and I said, "Does anyone sit next to you? Great, I'll sit there." And like I was able to learn from him like side by side. And then like I know Jack Kellogg, I know Dom really well, I know Kyle really well, I know a ton of traders very well. The list is endless. And like, being able to draw on those connections or just being able to be around these like everyone's got their strengths and their weaknesses, and just being able to be around these like hard hitting traders and to brand and talk to them, that's always been instrumental to my trading.
There you have it. There you go.
Very wow, nice. Thanks.
Wow. Hey,
how are you? All right, we're getting to the end, so you got to rapid fire random questions.
Well, rapid fire. Make sure we get all the questions here.
1, 2, 3. Drummer Max says Huddy needs a new mic.
He is well aware.
He hates it. No, he needs a new laptop.
Oh, yeah,
we're giving away Huddy's LG Gram, and we're buying him a Asus gaming computer.
Yeah. What's it called? What's the other one with the skull? Or it's like a
MSI. Or the skull Alienware or something?
Yeah,
Dell,
Alienware.
I think that is.
I've used MSI for the last 6 years. I love MSI. MSI's done wonders. But
I have a cyber power PC up here.
Damn.
It's cyber powered.
It's the future.
I want to pick one.
Okay, go for it.
Kyle, hey, I'm very curious. I'm trying to use their voice, sorry. Hey, Kyle. So very curious. When it comes to your journal, do you input every single trade and incorporate it to your monthly reviews? How many hours day to day do you spend?
Wow, that was that I want to say
pretty good.
Not an accent.
You thought you thought the computer was talking to you?
Yeah, that tone. Wow. Yes, every trade. Maybe sometimes there's been a trade where I don't record it if it's like I tried to fill
a really bad one.
No. Yeah, it's like if I lost a lot, yeah. No, it's like I think there's maybe been 2 trades I can think of where like I tried to fill and I fill 1 share. I'm like, and I cover it or I buy it and sell and I make like $1, right? And I'm like, this is a waste of my time, right? Like this is nothing. Other than that though, like if I fill all my size, but then ends up being a perfectly scratched trade of like $0, then I will still record it. Like it's like if the trade meaningfully plays out and it meaningfully happens and it did happen, like there's a 99.9999999% chance it is being tracked. In terms of how long that takes me per day, takes me 5 minutes, like maybe 15 max. Like end of the day, I'll put in my trades, I'll take screenshots, I'll input the screenshots in the journal, and then I'm done. Where it takes maybe more an hour or an hour and a half is on the weekends. On the weekends is when I will then make sure, cross-reference it with something like Kinfo, make sure my numbers are actually correct to the penny, to the actual P&L, review the trades, write a few notes, right? Review the charts, see how well I did, what there's trends, maybe a bunch of red days are not working, but a bunch of gap and craps are, review for next week, what can I do better, what can I do worse? That takes a couple hours. So maybe in total, across the week, 3 to 4 hours, I would say. And Of course, then I recap the actual monthly recaps with a video, and that is always an hour, and I prep for that with maybe 30 minutes of prep work, just like going through all the best and worst trades of the month. So yeah, total review time across a month, if you work it every week, I mean, yeah, there's probably 10 to 20 hours being spent, roughly.
It's so much fun though. I'm telling you, once you get it, me and Huddy both started doing it again in like 2023, at the end of 2023, and it becomes addicting. It is so much fun. Everything's in one place. You have to manually input it. You know, you have to sneak off to the bathroom with your laptop when you're on vacation because you got to get your numbers in because all the numbers disappear at the end of the day. It's fun. It's exciting. Trust me, it's worth it. It becomes like a little fun little addiction.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I get upset when like I know I'm traveling, and if I'm traveling and I'm not able to take a screenshot by the end of the day, I'm either like crap, like I've got to take a screenshot now because I won't be able to do it later. Like it gets a little addicting. So, but anyways, a couple more questions. I'll leave it to you, Dom. Feel free to.
Sean Riley says, "What trades did you take today?" No trades today.
I stopped out of a couple swings for low losers, and then I also stopped out of LUMN for a winner. So I think I'm green on the day because of Lumen. Lumen should be putting me green.
Oh, yeah. I got a nice little $0 a day. I think, yeah, there's like in the last few months, I have so many more non-trade days than I used to have. Like maybe I'm getting better at discipline. Fernando's yelling at me, saying if I study hard, imagine where I'd be now. My kid needs a father, okay? How do you know if what is going wrong is the pattern or if it's your emotion/process?
That would come in the review session, right? Like you need to be able to objectively look at the trade and be like, did I stop out because I was uncomfortable? Did I stop out because I just didn't want to take a loss, even though the trade ended up working? Was I even trading something that's predictable in a pattern, right? And maybe that's the hard part for some people because some people will really believe their own BS. They really will. Like people will be like, oh, I this is a setup. It's a stock that spiked this much and went this way, and then that's what happens. It's like that's not a setup, guys. Like they'll literally just spew out price action. I've seen this many times. They'll just tell me what price action did, and that's the setup. You know what I mean? It's like you need to have criteria. You need to have objective things happening regardless if your brain was involved, right? So when someone tells me, oh yeah, it spiked and I bought, like that's a setup. It's like, no, it's not. The you buying part, like that's not a thing, right? It needs to be like this stock, this moves this way, this many times in this exact range and this exact criteria with this exact news and this exact type of price action and this kind of volume. And this kind of happens 60% of the time, whether I am present in that stock or not, right? It's like you are removing yourself entirely. And then once you do that and you trade the setup, then you can then review and be like, did I trade the setup at hand? Or did I put myself in the equation, right? Being the emotions. Like I was tilted, I revenge traded, I stopped out because I was nervous. Like I said, I oversized, I undersized, I took the wrong risk level, I FOMO'd in when I should have waited. Like all these me things is where you'll know if you are getting in your own way, or you actually have an objective process that should be tried and true. And if a robot could do it, it would be very much better at it than you were, right? If that makes sense.
Always lean on the side that it's you. I think there's way too many traders out there who have this victim mindset that I hear stuff like breakouts don't work for me. First screens don't work for me. I said, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Then why did someone just make 50 grand last month trading breakouts only? Like, if that's the case, it's your fault. Like, and that's why I think with what Kyle just said, you have to be very, very objective to, like, if you pull up a chart, like say I missed yesterday, I was at the doctor's all day, and you pulled up a breakout and you showed me the chart and Kyle was like, would you have traded this? Like, there would be no guessing, or like I think a lot of traders, if it went up, they would just say, "Oh my gosh, I definitely would have traded that." But I would have looked at like LPTX today and go, "I probably wouldn't." It spiked too quickly into the breakout level, and it didn't go sideways enough there, and it was up a lot when it got to that point. The market's really bad right now. Like I would probably I know myself and what I would do well enough to know if Like I don't just always look at it rosy glasses. Like I would have made a bunch here. I would have definitely avoided ILAG when I was trading uh, Chinese liquidation place. Like I missed it that day. I had to get my car fixed or something. And I look at that like a blessing from God that I wasn't there, not like I'm better than I am and I would have missed it. If you are super honest with yourself about what you will do when you will do it, then you know if the pattern, like right now, objectively, like I'm about to put out a video where I talk about all the breakouts last month. Last month should have been a killer month for me based on the breakouts that we had. Like, but in terms of reversals, it's not just that my performance is off on reversals. There is objectively nothing working in that realm right now. And I can be aware of that and go, okay, I need to use that information to help me because it is the pattern right there, or at least the way I'm trading it. But overall, nothing's bouncing. So you need real honesty when it comes to trading because it will make you happy a lot quicker because you won't go through so much pain and then have to do the thing where it's like, it is me. Oh no. Like just assume it is you. And if it ends up being the pattern, you'll know quick.
Yeah. And maybe that's, and to add on top of that, I don't want to go in too long here, but maybe that's the refining process that happens. Because once you get that down, once you're then able to be objective, like, is it the pattern or is it the process or is it you? Once you then get it down that like you did everything perfect, right? You made a trade plan, your emotions didn't get in the way, you traded as best you could and you still lost. Then it's a matter of, okay, well, what did my process look like? Did I even make a proper trade plan, right? Did I even take a proper setup, right? This mistake happens all the time in slower markets where someone will take a lower grade ideal setup or unideal setup thinking it's good, and then it doesn't work and they're confused, right? Once you're able to get over that hump, I think then you can really kind of see the forest from the trees and find out, well, how good is your process actually, right? Because that's one of the tough parts about the learning curve, which is like you may make a trade plan and it may be a bad trade plan. And so then someone assumes that, oh, well, this stock doesn't work or this setup sucks for me. Well, it's like, no. Your process of making a trade plan just might not be correct, right? Like I can't tell you how many times I've shorted a first red day and taken a loss only to then retry or should have tried from the beginning, risking the correct level, which is usually a higher price, and then the trade works, right? So, and I mean, you can even argue that's you, right? Like that's maybe me trying to set a tighter risk level than the risk level that actually matters, which is like the furthest one away, right? And that part of that process of making that trade plan is like, that's how you get better at making trade plans. Like you have to, one, follow them, but then after following them, review and be like, well, was that even a good trade plan to make and follow in the first place? Because then you can go back again, and when the setup comes around again, you're like, okay, I made this mistake before. I put my risk here. I really should be putting it here. Let's give this another go on an entirely new stock, but the same setup, 2 months later, let's call it, right? And that's the, refining process that will sharpen your sword, so to speak, over time, and hopefully get you pretty damn good at what you're trying to get good at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there is a last question, and I think it's a good one because it's, basically, if a trader does exactly what you're telling them to do, what is the actual differentiating factor that stops them from becoming profitable? And I'll let you answer it. You can read it again if you need to. But it's basically like, if we're giving out all the secret sauce, what are people not doing then that is causing them to not whatever? And I kind of want to go off what you just said because we talk about being transparent with yourself, not having the victim mindset. I really think it's like, Coach Dan Lanning of the Oregon Ducks always says when we lose, like, we got to go to the doctor. Like, we have to diagnose our problems and go watch some tape and figure out honestly where the leaks are and what's going wrong. I honestly think most traders don't have the personal wherewithal to be able to do that. Like, I watch people, I talk to a lot of traders, especially beginner traders, day to day. And so I know how people think about their own trading, about the mistakes they make. They cover up for themselves a lot. They'll make a mistake and go, it was just this time. It was just small size. Like, you're never going to get where you want to go unless you're fully honest about being able to identify your problems and create solutions for them and then fix it and like actually go execute it. And until I see beginners actually commit, and we see it all the time in the room when someone posts like, look at my monthly results, month after month, and you see the improvements. You see the average winner go up, the average loser go down, the drawdowns become less, the red days become fewer and far between. Like, you can see when someone commits entirely to one system, to one or two patterns, to risk management first, to cutting my losses every time, to maximizing my winners. Like it's so obvious in their data and what they're doing versus the trader that has the system. They listen to me or Kyle or Huddy. They know what patterns they should trade, but they can't. The second things go wrong or the second they start to make mistakes, actually fall back down on a blueprint or foundation that is proven and successful. That's when they start making excuses for themselves. That's when they stop tracking. That's when they start oversizing or undersizing or taking less trades or taking too many trades. And that's when everything goes off the rails. And it's usually because of, not being honest with yourself and being able to identify your problems and fix them. Because that's all we do. Like someone talked about the edge earlier and how do you keep your edge. It is just constantly evaluating yourself honestly and making the changes. When Kyle takes a huge loss a few months ago, identify the problem. It was that type of setup or whatever it is. Put a solution to it. Move on. Continue to trade. That's all trading is once you've identified a pattern and a system that works.
Yeah. The one thing I'll add there too, which is like, again, if a trader does exactly what we say, well, it's not necessarily exactly what we say. We're just trying to say what the basic fundamentals are. And I always say this, and not the fundamentals of like a stock. I'm talking about like, if you're playing basketball, there's a very fundamental, basic way to shoot the ball. And if you shoot the ball any other different way, some people want to do like a little catapult versus just coming up, right form. Like the more you are able to do it exactly as you're supposed to, written on the rules, like the better your shot's going to be. So like, it's not necessarily what me say or Dom says or this. It's like we're just trying to give you the blueprint of what we've been told. Like this is the most efficient and most probable way to get the job done. And if a trader does exactly that, I mean, I'll go on maybe a bit of an extreme limb. There is no reason why they shouldn't be profitable. Period. And the reason why I'll say that is because I have done it before. I have given. In Clover we give it, right? But I have even made friends where I will tell them and I'll say, short here, risk here, cover here. Like that is it. Turn off your brain, turn off what you think. Here's 3 prices.
They won't do it.
Where you enter, where you exit, if you're wrong, and where do you exit if you're right. Just do that for me for an entire month. And they can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like they want to add their own flavor. They get in and they don't trust me telling them anymore as if like it's not their own plan. And maybe that's why. But the problem is they can't even come to that conclusion.
They lose 2 in a row and they go, you had to have taken another trade or something that won.
Exactly. It's like you could give someone an edge. And I'll never forget this. There was in one of the market wizards, I forget his name, but he said I could give my edge in the newspaper and it would still happen because 99.9% of people won't follow it. They won't just blindly trust. And again, you don't want to blindly trust. You don't want to verify yourself. But even after verifying, they just won't or can't do it themselves. I don't know why that is. I don't know what about the human psychology why that happens. But it's like I've seen it too many times where you could hand someone an edge and be like, do this thing and don't do anything else. And they will still find a reason to do something else. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what makes me think where one of the back, not to quote another market wizard, but Ed Secoda says people get what they want in the market. And I truly believe that. Like if people genuinely want to gamble, they will find a way to gamble. They may not know it, right? But if you truly deeply at a subconscious level that you are here to make money and that is it, you will do what it takes to make money, period. Right? But if you're here to be fancy or I want to be smarter than the market or I want to do this way, it's like all of a sudden you're not here to make money. You're here to do those things, right?
And it literally is so fun.
It's very weird. It's a very interesting complex, but a lot of people have it. A lot of people do.
I've traded with so many beginners and tried and given so many hours, and it's like I'll tell them that like based on their stats, they need to have bigger winners or something. And it's like they'll take a trade and it'll go 5% and they'll take it. And they're like, I'm here to make money. I'm trading. I'm like, you're not going to make money. Look at your stats. Like it's not going to work. And I've been around the farm. I've done it a million times. I've seen a million traders. I'm like, it's not a winning habit. And it's like, what you should be doing is not taking strategies and doing exactly what Huddy does or Kyle does or Jack does. Find out what every single profitable trader does the same. Find every single thing they do the same and make a list of that and just do that. Because it does frustrate me. You're frustrating me, Kyle, because that's what people do. And it's so annoying because then you're called a scam. But it's like, I've given them everything they need to be successful. They're not doing it.
Yeah.
They're half size on their winners. They're double the size on their losers. They're cutting here randomly. Like, do the same thing every day for a year. None of you can do that. None of you can do it. But if you did, you would change your life. I promise you that. I can't do it. I break the rules all the time. But I'm telling you, it's the simple but easy thing, or not easy but simple. There is a blueprint, a foundation. We've talked about it a million times. If you do it every day, you will be successful. There's no reason you shouldn't be. This human brain gets in the way.
You versus you. Wow, what an answer there. What do we got? Me and you got passion there, and Huddie's
because it is.
Huddie's out. Huddie's I don't know if he's there or not, but it's all right. But anyways, yeah.
No one wants to hear it though, because it is your fault if you don't succeed.
Last 30-second thing I'll say is what Dom hinted at there. It's like, if you did it, you'd be profitable. And even we don't do it. So it's not even that you have to be perfect. You just have to do it most of the time, right? Like, me and Dom are not perfect. We're humans. We screw up all the time, but we do it right enough to be profitable, right? And I don't know what that percentage, I don't know if you have to do it 60% of the time, or you got to do it 90% of the time, or even 99% of the time, because you will screw up. There are going to be times your brain gets in the way. There are going to be times you make decisions that are not wrong. And that's where the refining process comes in. But like, so you don't have to be perfect, but you just got to do it enough. You got to do it enough times, enough consistently, over and over and over again. And the people we're talking about who can't do it, try to find a way to do it almost every time. Like, they can never do it. Just turn their brain off. It's like, they're always involved, right? Whereas us, we're trying to follow it exactly the same every single time. And sometimes we'll have mental relapses, let's call it once a week, maybe once a day at most, if we're taking a lot of trades, and most trades are good, but one trade's bad, right? But anyways, we're rambling on.
And but you earn that privilege to be able to make a little oopsie there or a oopsie there, an extra trade there, because you learn where it's least likely to bite you so bad that it's painful and dangerous, right? Whereas a beginner does it all the time, and they don't know when they're supposed to be following the system, when they're not, or they run into that big loss, and we tell them, and someone like, it's a liquidation play, and Kyle goes, well, why would you ever hold that short overnight or something? And they're like, I didn't know. And it's like, you eventually will learn that stuff and get privilege, but I'm telling you, try next week. What is it, Wednesday? Try till next Wednesday. Write down tonight every single thing you are going to do to a T. The only patterns you will trade, the amount of risk you will take on every trade, the rules you will not break. I will not cut before risk. I will not add for no reason. I will not move risk until I see this. Write that down on a piece of paper and try to follow it for 1 week. Do it for 1 week. If you can't do it for 1 week, you'll never be successful. But watch what perfect trading looks like. You're going to be sitting there like, oh, I'm not supposed to trade. Oh, I'm like, you're going to be bugging out.
Yeah.
But you're going to see after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, how easy it is to be consistently profitable. It is very hard to do that every week. But if you force yourself to do it, and you don't deserve success, just so you know, if you can't do it till next Wednesday. So I encourage everyone, do that till next Wednesday and just watch the results. It might not make you green, but you'll start to feel really in control of your trading. Yeah. And that is a dangerous trader.
There we go. Bam. Boom. Last 10-second answer from Bill.
40 more seconds.
Kyle, really like if I join Four-Leaf Clover, will I be able to see your trades real time? Yes. Yes, we alert our trades real time. Will you be able to replicate them? It depends on what you mean by replicate. If you try to just chase my alerts, would not recommend that. If you try to study my setups or study my trade plans and then track them yourself and then feel like, oh, that's an edge I want to learn and get good at, yes, you could replicate that way. You could like reverse engineer it, but I would not try to buy an alert the moment you see my alert. That is not a recipe for success. That is the opposite. Because even 1 second difference of a price for me versus you could be a drastically different outcome. As crazy as that sounds, that's how quickly these things happen. But anyways, we've been going on forever. We're getting passionate at the end here. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good Morning NASDAQ, and also a webinar for Four-Leaf Clovers from me. And we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.